2026 isn't going to wait for you to be ready. It's not going to tap you on the shoulder and ask if you've figured your life out yet. The year is here, and you're either moving forward or you're getting left behind. That's it. No middle ground. No participation trophies for showing up. You think time cares about your excuses? You think the calendar's going to pause because you're not feeling motivated today? Wrong. Dead wrong. The people who win in 2026 are the ones who decided last year, last month, last week, that they were done playing small. They jumped. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They saw the edge and they ran straight at it because staying safe was killing them slower than any risk ever could. You know what separates 2026 from every other year? Nothing. Absolutely nothing except the story you tell yourself about it. This year is exactly like last year and the year before that. It's 365 days. Same hours. Same minutes. But you can be different. You can decide right now that this is the year you stop lying to yourself. This is the year you stop pretending that comfort is going to get you anywhere worth going. Because comfortable people don't change the world. Comfortable people don't build empires. Comfortable people wake up at 65 years old and wonder where their life went. You've got a choice to make, and you need to make it now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now, while you're hearing these words. Are you going to be someone who acts or someone who wishes they had? The biggest mistake you can make in 2026 is thinking you have time. You don't. None of us do. We're all walking around pretending like we've got forever, making plans for someday, talking about what we're going to do when things line up perfectly. When is that? When is this magical moment when everything falls into place and the universe gives you a green light? It doesn't exist. It's a fairy tale you tell yourself to justify staying exactly where you are. The truth is brutal and simple. You either do it now or you probably never will. That business you want to start, that body you want to build, that relationship you want to fix, that skill you want to master, it requires you to move today. Not when you're ready, not when you feel like it. Today, this year, 2026. This is your shot. And if you waste it waiting for perfect conditions, you're going to look back with nothing but regret. You want to know what the 2026 mindset really is? It's understanding that nobody is coming to save you. Your parents aren't going to do it. Your friends aren't going to do it. Your boss isn't going to hand you the life you want. The government isn't going to fix your problems. Nobody cares about your dreams as much as you do. And most people don't care at all. That's not cruel. That's reality. The sooner you accept that you're alone in this fight, the sooner you can actually start winning. Because when you realize it's all on you, something shifts. You stop making excuses. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop waiting for someone else to believe in you before you believe in yourself. You look in the mirror and you make a decision. Either I'm going to make this happen or I'm going to spend the rest of my life wondering what could have been. And wondering is torture. Wondering will eat you alive from the inside out. Think about the person you want to become by the end of 2026. Actually see them in your mind. What do they look like? How do they carry themselves? What have they accomplished? What habits do they have? What kind of discipline do they live with every single day? Now ask yourself the most important question you'll ever ask. What would that person do today? Right now? In this exact moment? Would they hit snooze 5 times? Would they scroll through social media for 2 hours? Would they eat garbage and skip the gym? Would they avoid that difficult conversation? Would they procrastinate on that project? No, they wouldn't. You know they wouldn't. So why are you? You're not that person yet, but you could be. The gap between who you are and who you want to be isn't talent. It's not luck. It's not connections. It's decisions. It's the 1,000 tiny choices you make every single day that either move you closer to that vision or keep you stuck in the same patterns that have been holding you back for years. Here's what most people don't understand about change. It's not comfortable. It's not supposed to be comfortable. If you're comfortable, you're not growing. You're dying. You're decaying. You're becoming obsolete. The market doesn't reward comfortable. Life doesn't reward comfortable. Comfortable is where dreams go to die. You want to know why most people never achieve anything significant? Because they're not willing to be uncomfortable for long enough. They try something new for a week, maybe a month, and when it gets hard, when it stops feeling good, when the initial excitement wears off, and all that's left is the brutal, unglamorous work, they quit. They tell themselves it wasn't meant to be. They tell themselves they gave it their best shot, but they didn't. They gave it their most comfortable shot. They gave it whatever effort they could give without disrupting their routine, without sacrificing their leisure time, without actually changing who they are. That's not trying, that's dabbling, and dabbling doesn't get results. The 2026 mindset means you embrace the suck, you run toward the hard stuff, you do the things that make you want to quit, because that's where growth lives, that's where transformation happens. Every single person you admire, every single person who's accomplished something worth talking about, they all went through hell to get there. They just didn't broadcast it. They didn't post about how hard it was every single day. They put their head down and they worked. They showed up when they didn't feel like it. They kept going when every fiber of their being wanted to stop. They chose discipline over motivation because they understood something crucial. Motivation is a lie. Motivation is that fleeting feeling you get when you watch a video or read a quote or imagine your future. It lasts about as long as it takes to scroll to the next piece of content. Discipline is what carries you through the days when you don't want to do it. Discipline is what builds the life you actually want to live. You're gonna fail in 2026, multiple times, probably more than you succeed at first, and that's perfect. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. Failure isn't the opposite of success. Failure is the admission price for success. You can't learn to fight without getting hit. You can't learn to build a business without making mistakes that cost you money and sleep and sanity. You can't learn to lead without making decisions that turn out wrong. Every failure is data. Every mistake teaches you something that success never could. The people who win aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who fail faster, learn quicker, and keep moving. They don't sit around licking their wounds and feeling sorry for themselves. They don't blame the economy or their upbringing or their lack of resources. They look at what went wrong, they extract the lesson, and they try again with better information. That's it. That's the whole formula. Try, fail, learn, adjust, try again. Keep doing that until you win. It's simple. Not easy. Simple. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop measuring your progress against someone else's highlight reel. You don't know what they sacrificed. You don't know what they're dealing with behind closed doors. You don't know how many times they almost quit. All you see is the end result, and you're comparing it to your beginning. That's insane. That's a recipe for misery. The only person you should be competing with is who you were yesterday. Are you better today than you were 24 hours ago? Did you learn something? Did you take action on something you've been avoiding? Did you have a little more discipline, a little more focus, a little more courage? That's the only metric that matters. Because if you're improving by even 1% every day, you're going to be 37 times better by the end of the year. That's not motivation talk. That's math. Compound growth is real, but you have to actually put in the deposits. You have to actually do the work consistently, even when nobody's watching, even when there's no immediate reward, even when it feels pointless. The 2026 mindset requires you to kill your old identity. You have to murder the version of yourself that makes excuses. The version that says, I'm not a morning person, or I'm not good with money, or I'm just not disciplined like that. Those are stories you tell yourself to avoid the hard work of change. You're not a fixed entity. You're not stuck being who you've always been. Your brain is plastic. Your habits can be reprogrammed. Your entire life can be rebuilt from scratch if you're willing to let go of the comfortable lies you've been telling yourself, but you have to want it more than you want to stay the same. You have to be willing to look at yourself honestly, without flinching, without making excuses, and admit that the reason your life isn't where you want it to be is because of you. not your circumstances, not your past. You, the decisions you make, the actions you take, the standards you hold yourself to. That's either the most terrifying realization you'll ever have or the most liberating. Because if it's your fault, that means you have the power to fix it. Here's a question that will change everything if you answer it honestly. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Think about that. Really think about it. What would you start if failure wasn't a possibility? What relationship would you pursue? What career would you chase? What creative project would you launch? What conversation would you have? Most people never even ask themselves this question because the answer scares them. The answer reveals the gap between who they are and who they could be, and that gap is uncomfortable to look at. But that discomfort is the exact thing you need to move toward. That fear is a compass pointing you toward growth. If something scares you and it's not actually dangerous, just uncomfortable or uncertain, that's probably exactly what you should be doing. Your fear is trying to keep you safe, but safety is overrated. Safety keeps you small. Safety keeps you stuck. You don't need safety. You need progress. You need momentum. You need to prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you think. Time is the only resource you can't get back. You can lose money and make it again. You can lose relationships and build new ones. You can fail at a business and start another one. But time, once it's gone forever. Every day you waste waiting for the perfect moment is a day you'll never get back. Every week you spend scrolling instead of building is a week that's disappeared into the void. Every month you procrastinate on your goals is a month closer to the end of your life where you'll look back and wish you had just started. The clock is ticking right now while you're reading this. It's not going to slow down. It's not going to give you a break. It just keeps moving forward, indifferent to whether you're making the most of it or letting it slip away. The 2026 mindset means you treat time like the precious, irreplaceable resource it is. You stop wasting it on things that don't matter. You stop giving it to people who don't value it. You invest it in yourself, in your growth, in your future, like your life depends on it, because it does. You're going to have to sacrifice things. There's no way around it. You can't add new behaviors without removing old ones. You can't build a new life while clinging to all the comfortable parts of your old one. Something has to go. Maybe it's the friends who drain your energy and pull you back into old patterns. Maybe it's the hours you spend watching TV or playing games. Maybe it's the sleep you're getting because you need to wake up earlier to work on your goals. Maybe it's the junk food that's been medicating your stress. Whatever it is, you know what it is. You've known for a long time. You're just afraid to let it go because it's familiar, and letting go means stepping into uncertainty. But here's the truth that nobody wants to tell you. Your comfort zone is a prison. It feels safe because you know what to expect, but it's killing your potential. Every day you stay in it, you're choosing security over significance. You're choosing ease over excellence. And maybe that's fine for some people. Maybe some people are content with an average life, but you're not. If you were, you wouldn't still be paying attention right now. The people who make it in 2026 are going to be the ones who stopped asking permission. They stopped waiting for validation from people who aren't even where they want to be. They stopped caring about what their high school friends think of their ambitions. They stopped letting their family's limited vision dictate their own. They looked at the life they wanted, and they decided that wanting it was enough. They didn't need anyone else to tell them it was possible. They didn't need anyone else to believe in them. They believed in themselves, even when it was irrational, even when the evidence suggested they should quit, even when everyone around them thought they were crazy. And you know what? Everyone did think they were crazy, right up until the moment it worked. Then suddenly everyone wanted to know the secret. There is no secret. The secret is, they started when nobody believed in them. They kept going when everyone told them to stop. They stayed committed when it would have been easier to quit. That's it. That's the whole game. Your mind is going to try to sabotage you. It's designed to keep you alive, not to help you thrive. Your brain wants you to stay safe, stay comfortable, stay with the tribe. Don't take risks. Don't stand out. Don't fail publicly. That's its job. But you're not trying to survive. You're trying to build something. You're trying to become someone, and that requires you to override your brain's safety mechanisms on a daily basis. It requires you to feel the fear and do it anyway, to feel the resistance and push through it, to hear the voice that says not today and say especially today. This is the battle, not the external circumstances, not the obstacles in your path. The battle is between the person you are right now and the person you're trying to become. And the person you are right now is going to fight like hell to stay in control because change is threatening to it. Your old self wants to survive, but your new self wants to thrive. One of them has to win. Every single day, with every single choice, you're casting a vote for which one it's going to be. Stop waiting for everything to be perfect. Perfect is a myth. Perfect is the excuse your fear uses to keep you paralyzed. You don't need perfect conditions to start. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need to know exactly how everything is going to turn out. You just need to know the next step, just the next one. Can you take one more step today toward the person you want to be? Of course you can. Anyone can take one step. The problem is, people think they need to see the whole staircase before they start climbing. They need to have it all figured out. They need guarantees. There are no guarantees. Life doesn't work that way. You take a step, then another one, then another one, and eventually you look back and realize you've climbed higher than you ever thought possible. But you have to take the first step without knowing where the stairs lead. You have to start before you're ready. You have to commit before you're confident, because confidence doesn't come from preparation. Confidence comes from action. You do the thing, you survive it, you learn from it, and then you're a little more confident for the next time. That's how it builds. Not from thinking about it, from doing it. The world doesn't need another person with potential. Potential means nothing. Potential is just a nice word for wasted talent. The world is full of people who could have been something, who had all the ability in the world, who just never put in the work. They had potential. So what? What matters is execution. What matters is results. What matters is showing up every day and doing the unglamorous, difficult, boring work that turns potential into reality. Are you going to be someone who talks about what they're going to do, or someone who actually does it? Are you going to be someone with a plan or someone with progress? Because talk is cheap. Plans are worthless without execution. Ideas mean nothing if you don't act on them. The 2026 mindset is about less talking and more doing. Less planning and more starting. Less thinking and more executing. Stop telling people what you're going to do. Stop posting about your goals. Stop seeking validation for your intentions. Just do the work. Build in silence. Let your results speak. And when you've actually accomplished something worth talking about, you won't need to announce it. People will see it. They'll feel it. They'll know something changed in you. And by then, you won't care what they think anyway, because you'll be too busy working on the next thing. You're going to be miserable at some point this year, maybe multiple points. There will be days when you question everything, when you wonder if it's worth it, when you want to quit and go back to the comfortable life you used to have. Those days are coming. They come for everyone. The difference between people who make it and people who don't isn't that successful people don't have those days. It's that they keep going anyway. They push through. They remember why they started. They look at how far they've come. They refuse to let a bad day, a bad week, even a bad month derail the entire journey. Because this is a marathon, not a sprint. You don't win in 2026 by having one amazing day. You win by having 365 days of showing up. Some days will be great. Most days will be average. Some days will be terrible. But if you show up for all of them, if you do the work regardless of how you feel, you'll end the year in a completely different place than where you started. And that's the goal. Not perfection. Not constant happiness. Progress. Transformation. Becoming someone you're proud to be. This year is going to test you. It's going to push you to your limits and then ask you for more. It's going to force you to grow in ways that are uncomfortable and painful. It's going to reveal parts of yourself you didn't know existed. both good and bad. It's going to ask you questions you don't have answers to and force you to make decisions you're not ready for. And all of that is exactly what you need, because you don't grow in comfort. You grow in challenge. You grow when you're forced to adapt, when you're pushed beyond what you thought you were capable of, when you have no choice but to become more than you are. The 2026 mindset is understanding that difficulty is the path, not the obstacle. Hard is where you want to be. Struggle is where transformation happens. If everything is easy, you're not challenging yourself enough. You're not growing. You're coasting. And coasting leads nowhere worth going. Look at your life right now. Actually look at it. Are you proud of what you see? Are you living in alignment with your values? Are you taking action on your goals? Are you becoming the person you said you wanted to be? Or are you making excuses? Are you justifying your lack of progress? Are you blaming external factors for internal problems? Because if you're not where you want to be, there's a reason, and that reason is you. Not your circumstances, not your past, not your resources or lack thereof. You, the decisions you make every day, the standards you hold yourself to, the level of discipline you maintain when nobody's watching. That's what determines your life. And if you don't like your life right now, you have two options. Accept it and stop complaining, or change it and stop making excuses. Those are your only two options. Everything else is just noise. The 2026 mindset requires brutal honesty with yourself. You have to be willing to look at your weaknesses without flinching. You have to identify the patterns that are holding you back. You have to admit where you're wrong, where you're lazy, where you're scared. Most people can't do this. They can't handle the truth about themselves. They need to maintain the illusion that they're doing their best, that circumstances are against them, that they just need one lucky break. But you have to be different. You have to be willing to tear yourself apart, see all the broken pieces, and then put yourself back together stronger. You have to do the inventory on yourself that nobody else can do for you. What are you good at? What do you suck at? What do you need to improve? What habits are destroying you? What relationships are draining you? What beliefs are limiting you? Answer these questions honestly, without sugarcoating anything, and then take action based on the answers. That's how you change. Not by lying to yourself about where you are, but by acknowledging reality and then doing something about it. Nobody is going to care about your excuses when the year is over. Nobody is going to pat you on the back for trying hard while accomplishing nothing. Nobody is going to feel sorry for you because things were difficult. Difficult is the default setting for anything worth doing. Easy is for people who don't want much out of life. You want more than easy. You want something that matters, something that lasts, something that proves to yourself that you're capable of more than you ever thought possible. That's going to require you to stop making excuses and start making progress. It's going to require you to stop explaining why you can't and start figuring out how you can. It's going to require you to take full ownership of your life, your decisions, your results. Because the moment you stop blaming external factors and start taking responsibility for everything, that's the moment everything changes. That's when you get your power back. That's when you realize that if it's your fault, it's also your solution. You created the mess. You can create the success. The bars are always open. The distractions are always available. The easy path is always there waiting for you. You can choose comfort and entertainment and instant gratification every single day for the rest of your life. Nobody will stop you. But the opportunity to build something significant, to become someone extraordinary, to achieve goals that actually matter, that window isn't always open. That window is open right now. In 2026, while you're young enough, healthy enough, hungry enough to do something about it, but it won't be open forever. One day you'll wake up and realize you're too old, too tired, too set in your ways. One day you'll look back and wish you had taken the shot when you had it. Don't let that be you. Don't be the person who chose temporary comfort over lasting achievement. Don't be the person who played it safe their whole life and ended up with nothing worth remembering. Be the person who jumped, who risked, who failed and got back up and tried again. Be the person who gave everything they had to become everything they could be. This is it. This is your year. Not because there's anything magical about 2026, but because you're deciding right now that it's going to be. You're making a commitment to yourself that this is the year everything changes. This is the year you stop playing small. This is the year you stop waiting for permission. This is the year you take what's yours. Nobody is going to hand it to you. Nobody is going to make it easy. But if you want it bad enough, if you're willing to suffer for it, if you're willing to become the kind of person who deserves it, then nothing can stop you. Not circumstances, not setbacks, not fear, not doubt, nothing. The only thing that can stop you is you. So don't stop, don't quit, don't give up when it gets hard, because it will get hard. That's when most people quit. That's when you keep going. That's how you win. That's the 2026 mindset.